I'm making double pork cooked stir fried. And the double portion is we're gonna pre-cook the pork or tenderize it a little bit. And I'm gonna use the method of marinating this and sous videing it at first. So it'll be basically cooked, and we'll finish it by crisping it in the wok with the rest of everything. So that's the recipe, double cooked pork stir fried. So stay tuned, and these are the marinade ingredients I'll be using. Okay, now I have my dry ingredients all measured out in here, and my wet ingredients in here, and here is my diced, chopped up garlic and ginger put together. I'm going to be putting everything in a sealed sous vide vacuum sealed bag. I'll be vacuum sealing after I put it in here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the dry ingredients on there, and then throw the wet ingredients down in the bag, and then seal it all up. So, and this will be cooking sous vide at 140 for an hour to an hour and a half, which my sous vide is just now coming up to temperature. So I'll just be putting this rub on the pork, and then putting it down the bag, and then adding the dry ingredients and the ginger and garlic, and that'll just infuse all the flavor as it's sous vide. So, okay, I've got everything in the vacuum sealed bag. The dry rub was put on the pork, as well as the wet with the ginger and garlic all in there. So it'll be cooking, like I said, an hour to an hour and a half at 140. So they'll be completely cooked, and they'll be just finished off in the wok, seared real good with the rest of the ingredients. So my sous vide is still coming up to temperature. We're only like at about 118 degrees. I gotta get up to 140 before I drop these in. And I won't be showing that process. I'll just be sous videing these for that time length, and then we'll be showing it after it comes out of sous vide when we go to the next step of walking it all together. Okay, we're getting ready to come out of sous vide. I didn't show me going in this. As I said, it's cooked for at 140 for about an hour and a half. We're about 7 minutes short of it. But one of the things I want to show is, of course, I put all the dry rub and the marinade. I rubbed the dry rub all over the pork chops. Then I put the dry rub and the garlic and ginger down in the bag. Make sure that you have them single layer. Don't double stack them, or that'll increase your cooking time. These are about 3/4 inch thick pork chops. Close to an inch. That's why I wanted to go closer to an hour and a half to an hour. They've been thinner pork chops, an hour would have been fine. But anything over an inch, probably about an hour and a half. But if you doubled them, then you have 2-inch pork chops. Then you need to go about 2 hours or so. So you just got to watch your time. Now, it's still only about midday here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave them in the bag, and I'm going to throw them in the refrigerator and let them cool down. And then I'll be showing the rest of the process, where I'll be slicing these up very thinly and prepping all the vegetables and everything for the walking. Okay, I'm now getting ready to prepare the sauce. One minor concern is I bought some honey not long ago, like 3-4 weeks ago, and I rarely use any honey, but I've got one son who lives with me who just loves honey, and I almost have to hide it or he uses it all up, and apparently my honey's gone. So you can, honey's better, but I'm going to use brown sugar in the place of the honey, since I don't want to make another trip to the store. So we're going to start with the marinade with basically bouillon sauce. I'm going to go with that. I'm just taking the seal off of this, so we'll go with the right one. So we want to start with about a half a tablespoon of bouillon sauce. So it's really thick. Let me just get this in there. Okay. Alrighty. And then next we're going to go with the rice wine, about the same of it. go. And next we need to do a teaspoon of chili bean sauce, and that's right here. A teaspoon of that. And then we go with the honey, and I need to just kind of rinse this off. I don't want to get bean sauce in the honey, so I'm rinsing this off, or actually the brown sugar. I wouldn't want to get it in the honey either, but we're going to be using brown sugar, so I don't have any honey for a substitute. So we want about 2 of those. Okay, we're good. And then we're going to take we're going to take about a teaspoon of, I'm going to be using the chili sauce. I'm going to be using a tablespoon, about 2 tablespoons of this. It's got a little sweet and a little kick in it, so we'll be good there. And then I want to do about a teaspoon. I'm going to use light soy. So, actually that's a half teaspoon. I got the wrong one. So let me get the right one. Where's my teaspoon? Tablespoon, teaspoon right here. Okay. And then we just got to do the cornstarch. I'm going to do a tablespoon of it. And once again, I'm going to have to go back and do the rinse. So I've got this stuff in here that I don't want to really get in the cornstarch. Okay. And then we're going to add a tablespoon cornstarch to the mixture. And then we have our sauce. Okay, that's our sauce for our stir fry. It's all done. Well, as you can see, I've already cut up the vegetables here. It called for scallions, garlic, ginger. There's a little bit of spicy red pepper in there, and onions and green peppers. But I'm adding some carrots just because we want a little bit more vegetables in it, and I'm adding some mushrooms. So those are just some optional items. As you see here, I got the pork, and I'm just going to slice it thinly. It's cooked. It's just slightly picked, but it's totally cooked. You can eat this. And I'll probably be cutting those pieces in 2 as well. Just try a bite of it. Tastes pretty good. Has good flavor. So, taste that ginger and garlic for sure. Okay, I got 2 more of these that I'll be doing. I'm just going to show you this one because you don't need to sit here and watch me slice. So do the same thing with the other 2, and then I'll be showing the wok stage. I'm also cooking my jasmine rice now. Okay, I'm getting ready to wok. I'm using high heat oil, grapeseed oil. My wok is pretty hot. I don't need a lot of oil since the meat's already been pre-cooked. I'm just going to start with searing it, and then I'll take it off, and then I'll cook the vegetables, and then I'll add it all back in there with the sauce. But just need to get a nice hot start here. Well, here I am beginning to wok. I've speeded up the video just because it gets a little bit long in here, but I'm just searing the meat. It's already been cooked with the sous vide, adding a little bit of garlic and ginger, and just getting a good flavor on it and searing it up on the outside since it's been cooked through the middle. Now I'm taking the meat out, put a little bit more oil in the pan, and toss it around, and then adding the vegetables, starting with the carrots and the peppers, because they take a little longer than the onions and the rest of the ingredients. Be adding the onions here in a few minutes, and a little bit more garlic and ginger, and just letting it kind of cook through. Even though I've cut the carrots and pretty there, I'm adding the onions back to it. Don't take quite as long, so I add those a little bit later. Want to keep everything crisp. Now I'm adding the mushrooms. And just kind of getting everything going. I'll be adding the meat here. Yep, there's the meat back in. Warm it all up, and the juices of it help flavors up everything. And helps everything else cook really good. The juices that were left in the meat. And we just continue along. And just kind of keep cooking everything. And be adding the sauce here in just a few minutes. And the sauce will just kind of coat everything. I don't make it real saucy. I just like everything coated. So the cornstarch will be setting up with the high heat and coating everything in a fine layer of the sauce. And dinner is served. Okay, I'm moving the camera a little bit here. Here's the plated up version of our dinner, and I tasted it. It's really delicious.